Sorry, hello. Hi everyone and good afternoon. I'm so excited to be here to join you today. But before I begin, just wanted to give a shout out and thank you, Chris, for inviting me over today. Thank you also to Shar, to Ses, for having me here and to Ollie as well. So today I'll be talking about building communities in... okay. Okay, I guess while we're loading the slides, just wanted to reintroduce myself. So I'm Amber, and I actually met Chris here exactly a year ago during Philippine Startup Week. So I'm really excited to talk about our topic today, which is building communities in the digital age. I know today in the age of technology, it's kind of hard to stay connected, both because we're inundated with information, but also at the same time because you kind of lose that human aspect. So today, I'd like to kind of start and continue the discussion about how we can keep building communities during the digital age. And also, I just wanted to share a few lessons I've learned while building out the citizen developer community at Globe, as well as the other communities I've been a part of in the past as well. So I guess while waiting, maybe we can have a primer question. I think we have like a smaller audience today. Sorry sa mga mabavoluntold if I can speak in Tagalog. But maybe anybody can share like what's one community that you've been a part of before and what did you like about that community? So you can just shout it out. I don't think I can jump down because it's kind of far. But one of the communities I've been in before actually is women in data science. So one of the reasons why I like that community is because it made me feel seen, it made me feel heard, and I feel like we had a lot of shared values and purpose. So I know you guys are all here as well today for this big event. So would love to hear if anybody here has a community that they're part of. It can be related to business or completely unrelated. I know Chris does CrossFit also, so that's also another community as well, fitness community. So yeah, maybe anybody can just like shout the community that you've been part of in the past and one thing that you like about it. What about you, sir, in purple, in front? Because you're closer to me. Do you want to share your experience? You're shy. It's okay. I mean, I guess that's one reason why digital communities also help. Because I'm also shy, honestly. People just like volunteer me for stuff. So it does help break that barrier. I think being especially on Discord communities too. I think a lot of you folks, especially those who are familiar with dev and engineering, maybe you're part of a lot of Discord communities. So even for those of us who are shy, it's a great way to engage. Like you can kind of keep your camera off, but still learn from other people from different disciplines. Okay, while waiting, maybe Chris, you want to share a bit about what community you have been part of and what you like about it.
I'm really proud to be part of the Magento community because it gives us the business, number one. And the second is, you learn a lot from these folks. Meet Magento is not just in the Philippines right now. It's all over the world. There's Meet Magento New York, Florida, UK. It's all over the world. It's the tech that we build on. And it's where we learn a lot from, and we bring it over to the Philippines to experience it here in Asia. That's it.
Thank you so much, Chris, for volunteering. So I really appreciate that. I guess, there we go. So just to give you a high-level overview of what we'll be talking about in the next 15 minutes. So I'll talk about what communities are, what makes them a community, as well as asking the question, are communities still important in the age of technology, and why? So of course, as mentioned earlier, I do work in AI and Globe Telecom. I used to be an AI engineer until I moved into more of AI democratization and enablement. So we'll talk a bit about how tech and AI can actually be helpful rather than detrimental to building communities. And of course, sharing finally best practices that I've learned in my past journey as well as what we've built at Globe. Okay, so in terms of where does community come from? So it actually comes from the Greek word communitas, which is made up of communis, which means common and shared, and munos, which means gift or service. So why is this important and why does this even matter? I think one of the things I wanted to highlight here is that when we talk about community, it actually is more than just, a group of people. It's a place where people feel connected, where they show up, where they support each other, and share something meaningful. Based on the Latin roots, we can see that it reminds us, in a community, what you share matters, and how you show up also matters. Especially in this digital age, communities now are more important than ever. Because while tech gives us more connection, it also gives us a lot more noise. Real belonging starts when humans feel supported. And while AI can organize that, I'll show you a few examples later on, it really doesn't replace the human spark. And I think that's something that we should remember, especially in the digital age. So we've gone over that earlier. Thank you for volunteering to answer my question. So what are the main parts of a community? If we break it down, I really like talking about it in this framework. So the 6P framework. So first we have purpose, right? What is the reason why you're a part of that community? So I mentioned earlier that I kind of lead the Citizen Developer Squad at Globe, and what we really care about is democratizing AI. So how do we make AI accessible both for engineering folks, business folks, and those who may initially be kind of hesitant to try AI? How do we make sure that we build out AI in a way that's both ethical, responsible, and accurate? So having a shared purpose really helps. Second, the people. So who are the people in your community? One of the things that we've learned as well is that having a diverse, multidisciplinary, and cross-functional community really helps. So meaning, while you have shared interests, and especially in the field of AI is not just for one person, right? And when we build, we don't just build for one specific subset of society, but we, of course, want to be building for the world, right? So we want to be inclusive when we talk about people and our shared experiences. Next, we have practices. So I'm sure in the different communities you've been in, you have your own practices, whether it's a fitness community, like Chris, maybe their shared practices like, I'll do 10 burpees every time I arrive in a venue or something. Or if you're part of, like, for example, our squad, we have a practice wherein we celebrate each other's wins and we spotlight and highlight the contributions each one of us has made, right? So what are the shared practices that you have that create a rhythm in your community? Then the place. So this is one really interesting thing about tech today. So before, a lot of our community events only happened in physical places. But now with the rise of globalization and tech, we see that a lot of the places where we can convene and have shared experiences include not just actual venues like this very lovely venue today, but also in online spaces. So whether that's like Discord or Slack or other online communities, you can definitely have a lot more spaces to share and to convene. And of course, participation. So these are the small actions that drive community momentum. So I'll show you a bit later. For example, in Globe, we use Google Chat or Google Space, and we have a place where people can share the things that they like about AI, things that they've learned. Basically, just a way for people to engage and participate. What are the ways that people can interact with each other, that they can share their interests, and that they can, have a safe space to geek out, for example. And of course, lastly, principles. So a lot of these are aligned, for us especially. How do we encourage the use of AI, for example? What are our responsible AI principles? And what are the principles that we imbibe as a community? So how do we maintain respectful behavior in a community, both online and offline? And just how do we want to create the culture in that community? And again, what's really nice about these principles or these 6 P's of community are that they apply whether you're in person, you're online, and no matter what part of the world you're in. And these have been concepts that have been existing years and years ago, right? So do communities still matter today, especially in the digital age? So the answer is definitely yes, and I hope you all agree with me because we're here at a community building event today with Meet Magento, their first event in the Philippines. So congratulations on that, Meet Magento. Yes, because at the end of the day, communities help us combat isolation, share knowledge, take collective action, and have identity and belonging. So technology expands the where. We can now connect anytime and anywhere in different spaces, but the why of our community, the purpose, and the people, these will always stay human. So you can kind of think about it this way. Communities are in our DNA, hence the drawing. So the only difference now is that a lot of the platforms that we have to build community make it easier to find our people. So instead of having to convene physically in a certain place, now I can connect with folks who are not just in Manila, but maybe other people who are like in Mindanao or even in New York, etc. I've lived in different parts of the world before, and something that I've really appreciated with technology actually is the fact that it's allowed me to maintain my core communities despite not being in the same place. So I'm part of a church community now also. And even though I was like abroad, I was always able to kind of participate in like prayer meetings and stuff like that, which before the digital age, that was kind of unheard of. Same thing now in the NYU alumni community whenever they have talks or events, even though I'm like 12 hours time difference, it still gives me a platform to really participate. So AI can help with the scale, but at the end of the day, we still need the human aspect to connect with each other, and that's timeless. So how exactly can AI enhance communities? So I'll go through each of these one by one, as well as how I've seen this in the communities that I've either been a part of or that I've helped build. But first, we have automated moderation. Second, we have personalized experiences, workflow automation, enhanced communication, and insightful analytics. So first, in terms of automated moderation, a lot of the communities that we have can actually be enhanced by AI. So especially in terms of digital communities, you have the risk of people being, for example, disrespectful or because there's a lot of, for example, like faceless accounts, whether that's on Reddit or Discord or all of these things, it's a bit easier to kind of do bad things if you want to. So how do we use AI to prevent that? So this is an example of a content, it's a little bit small here, but it's a content moderation workflow using N8N. So has anybody heard of N8N in the room? Okay, a lot of people use it, amazing. So this is a Discord N8N content moderator. And as a brief background, N8N is just an automation tool. So at Globe, it's part of our citizen developer toolkit that we use to enable and give access to people to use AI. And why this matters is instead of having somebody, for example, like monitor all of your Discord threads or monitor all of your, like if you're building a Reddit thread, for example, you can actually have AI help in that. Another one is personalized experiences. So this can actually help you find your people more easily. So I mentioned earlier that we have global experiences, but because we're dealing with such a large scale of people, how do you find the people who are more like you and who you can share your experiences with? So AI can actually help with that because it can give you recommendations on the people who have similar interests as you do. And especially, for example, this is the Hugging Face Discord. So Hugging Face is one of the biggest AI communities as well that I'm kind of like a member of. And what they do is they allow you to join specific, whether it's webinars, working groups, etc., depending on your interests, whether that's like machine learning, natural language processing, etc. So all of these are enhanced by these digital platforms. Next, you also have workflow automation. So this is a project that our intern on my team at Globe worked on. So in Globe, we're very active on Google Chat because we're a Google Workspace user. So a lot of what we do and what we automate is helpful for this platform. So what she did is she worked on an automation that would actually help give summaries to the different Google spaces that we're in. So, sorry, let me keep this quick because I think we are running out of time. But yeah, workflow automation is another one. It could also give us enhanced communication because of, for example, this is a screenshot of our Globe AI community. So through different threads, we can share different topics, find people who have similar interests, as well as encourage people to share, things that they're interested in too. The other thing is, in terms of enhancing our communication, it makes it a bit easier to kind of collaborate. So across different business units, when we share the projects that we're working on, as well as the different tools that we're using, it actually makes it easier for us to get a grasp on the holistic kind of like AI pulse across the whole company. And last but not least, insightful analytics. So another community that I work on is TikTok. So I do a lot of like fitness content on TikTok, and something that has helped me a lot in terms of that is really understanding my audience. So a lot of these online communities, it's much easier now to get a grasp of who is in your community, what do they like, what kind of value do they want to get from your interaction with each other? How can you guys contribute to each other through your community, right? So it's a lot easier now with analytics. So these are the high-level community lessons that we've learned through, not just through Globe, but also the communities I've been in. So it stands for drive. So how do we drive connection in a digital world? So we start with diversity. So diversity brings in many voices, especially having a diverse team. Reachability makes it easier to join. Immersion pulls more people in. Validation makes everyone feel seen and safe. And enablement gives people the tools to lead. So kind of at the high level, how does that pan out in the different communities that I've been in and that we're currently working on now in our squad? So first, in terms of diversity, in our citizen developer squad in Globe, we really have people of different backgrounds, right? So as I mentioned earlier, AI is for everyone, and there's a space for everyone in AI. So our squad spans not just AI engineers, but we also have people from HR, we have people from marketing, we have people from just different business units, not just in Globe, but also in Ayala as well. And we have a lot of different collaborations across different teams. So this really allows us to get perspectives and build on each other's wins and successes. Next, we have reachability. So meeting people where they are. So I alluded to our citizen developer toolkit earlier, and I think especially in the digital age, how you build community isn't just through conversation, it's also how you provide access to people. So a way that we also build community is by the tools that we give people. And the tools that we give people depends on where they are in their AI journey. So we have no-code tools for people who are just AI enthusiasts. We have low-code tools for people who are interested in AI but not really into coding, for example. And then we have developer tools for those who are coders and who want to integrate AI into their workflow. So it's really understanding where your community is and what would bring the most value to them. Next, we have immersion. So we also serve as Globe's AI consulting arm. And really to understand and be able to serve not just our customers, but also to serve our community, we really need to be able to get their context, right? So we do that through immersion. Immersion across different teams as well as immersion with our customers. So through this, we really get a lot of empathy, which is the bedrock of not just the technology that we build, but the tech that we use to enhance our community as well. We also have validation. So it's kind of like a feedback loop, right? So whenever we have different initiatives, whether tech or non-tech, whether online or in person, it's like a feedback loop of how we validate what we're bringing to the table and how we're contributing to the discussion. So these are examples of some of the things that we've built at Globe through community validation. So a lot of these are chatbots that we've learned through our AI consulting arm. So one of them is called ISCO, which is kind of like our AI security, our IT security chatbot. And that really came about through constant validation and discussion, not just within our AI group, but also across different communities. And last but not least, enablement. So this is a photo of some of our members of our squad when we had an internal hackathon. And really the biggest part here is being able to turn our users into builders and build community off of that, right? So when we talk about enablement, a lot of it focuses on, again, like not just meeting people where they are, but being able to create that bond with each other in whatever space you're in, and build that level of trust as well. So to summarize, in the digital age, how can we use technology and AI to really drive what matters? So communities don't build themselves, people do. While a lot of our tech and AI can make it easier, whether through automation, chatbots, having online spaces, at the end of the day, we really should maintain and keep that human aspect because it's really people who make the communities. Technology gives us the where and the how and gives us a broader platform to share with each other. But at the end of the day, keeping that human aspect is what gives heart to our communities. So yeah, thank you so much for paying attention and hope that was helpful.